My dear friends, the moment you understand the nature of consciousness, the moment you grasp its true essence, you will never again ask in desperation. You will no longer beg, plead, or supplicate. You will ask with the dignity of one who knows that their request is already fulfilled. The great secret, the eternal mystery, is not in the asking itself, but in the manner of asking. Ask like this, and the universe cannot say no. You are not separate from the universe. You are not some foreign entity, hoping to receive charity from a higher power. You are the very being who created the desire. You are the dreamer dreaming the dream, and you must wake up to the knowledge that all that you seek already exists within you. It is not about crying out into the heavens. It is about the inner movement of consciousness. You do not have to scream to be heard by the infinite. You simply have to assume. What does it mean to ask? The average man believes asking is a vocal command, a verbal petition to some external force. But true asking, my beloved, is not through the lips but through the feeling. Feeling is the secret. Your imagination fused with feeling is the creative act itself. When you ask in consciousness, when you feel from the end, you are not merely requesting, you are declaring that it is so. Many people ask from lack. They ask from emptiness. And so what they receive is more of the state they dwell in, emptiness. They pray for money from the state of being poor. And the only reality they experience is the continuation of poverty. Why? Because consciousness is the only reality. If you dwell in the feeling of lack, your world must reflect it. But when you ask from the state of fullness, from the knowing that it is already yours, then you compel the universe to rearrange itself in alignment with that assumption. The law does not fail. The universe cannot say no to the one who asks in the language of assumption. When you imagine vividly and live in the end, you are not hoping, you are knowing. And what you know to be true inwardly becomes fact outwardly. The entire world is yourself pushed out. Nothing comes to you but what is first imagined by you, accepted by you, and believed by you. To ask aright, you must become the state of the wish fulfilled. Become it now, not tomorrow, not in a week, now. This present moment is all there is. This now is eternity. If you truly knew you were already what you long to be, how would you feel? How would you walk? How would you breathe? What would your conversations be like? Embody that version of you now, and you will have asked correctly. That is how the universe answers, with certainty and speed, when the asking is not laced with doubt, but with inner conviction. Let me give you an example. A man wishes to be successful in business. He closes his eyes each night and imagines himself sitting in his luxurious office, feeling the fine leather of his chair, smelling the richness of success in the air. He speaks with clients who admire him, friends who congratulate him, family who beam with pride. He is not begging God for success. He is becoming success in imagination. And then what happens? Events begin to move. Conversations unfold. Opportunities arise. Why? Because consciousness externalizes. The outer world is clay in the hands of the inner potter, and the inner potter is imagination. The Bible tells us, ask, and it shall be given to you. But it is not speaking of vocal pleading. The Bible is a psychological drama. Asking is assuming the state. The gift is the reflection of your inner movement. You are not waiting for something to be done. It is already done. When Jesus said, believe that you have received it, and it shall be yours, he was not offering a metaphor. He was offering the law. To believe that you have received is to live from the end. To walk in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is asking, and the universe cannot say no. You must ask in spirit and in truth. Not with your mouth, but with your consciousness. Truth is that which does not change, and spirit is imagination. When you imagine something so vividly that you feel its reality, you are asking in spirit and in truth. The outer man may deny it, may call it delusion, but the inner man knows it is already done. This is faith, not blind belief, but awareness of a higher truth beyond appearances. I tell you, you must go beyond what the senses dictate. The senses are but shadows of inner states. If you look to the world to confirm your desire, you are looking in the wrong place. The world is the mirror, not the cause. The cause is always within. So ask not for the world to change before you feel differently. Feel differently first, and the world will change. That is the alchemy of consciousness. How do you ask? You enter the silence. You quiet the mind. You turn away from appearances. You create a scene in your imagination. A scene that would be true if your desire were already fulfilled. You place yourself in the center of that scene. You see it. You hear it. Most importantly, you feel it. You feel the thrill of accomplishment, the joy of possession, the peace of fulfillment. You fall asleep in that feeling. You walk throughout the day returning to that feeling. You saturate yourself with it, and soon the world conforms. Many people ask repeatedly, and receive nothing because they ask as the person who does not yet have. They are fixated on the fact that they do not have it. And so they ask and ask and ask, all the while affirming the lack. But when you ask from the state of I have, you ask only once. And you rest in the assurance. You do not plant the seed and then dig it up every day to check on it. You plant it and know it will sprout. This is the faith of the one who truly understands how to ask. Asking like this is not arrogance. It is humility before the law. You are not trying to force your will upon the world. You are recognizing that all is already done in imagination, and you are simply aligning yourself with what is eternally yours. You do not wrestle with fate. You accept your true inheritance, and your inheritance is anything you can dare to assume. The universe cannot say no to the one who has already accepted their wish as fulfilled. The yes is not granted from the sky. It emerges from your own soul. You are the operant power. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for signs. Do not wait for someone to approve. Assume it now. Live in the end. Feel from the place of fulfillment. That is asking. And it never fails. All things exist. Everything you can desire is already a part of creation. You are not creating something new. You are selecting. Creation is finished. All you are doing is moving your awareness. And when you ask correctly, you shift your awareness to the version of reality where your desire is already true. And once you do that, the bridge of incidents will unfold to lead you there, effortlessly, naturally. Let me remind you, asking is not about effort. It is not about strain. It is not about trying harder. It is about surrendering to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The mind may resist. The senses may scream otherwise, but persist in the inner knowing. Remain faithful to the unseen reality. And soon what was unseen will be seen, and the invisible will become visible. Do not complicate this. It is simple, but it requires discipline. It requires that you turn inward daily, consistently, that you dwell more in the imagination than in the reports of the world, that you fall in love with the unseen more than the visible, that you ask, not by speaking but by assuming, that you do not chase but attract by being. You ask by embodying. The man who asks for love must become loving. The woman who asks for abundance must feel abundant. The child who asks for joy must feel joyful. The vibration you emit is the answer you receive. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. So ask like one who already is. And the universe will mirror it back to you, precisely without fail. There is no power outside of your consciousness. No one is coming to grant your wish. You are the wish granter. You are the universe in human form. When you ask in the right way, you are simply activating a part of yourself that has always existed. You are choosing to live in the frequency of fulfillment. And once you do that, the entire world reshapes itself to reflect your new assumption. Can you see now why the universe cannot say no? Because it is you. It is your reflection. It is your echo. And it always, without exception, reflects your dominant state. So ask as the fulfilled version of you. Ask like the king or queen who knows the throne is theirs. Ask with the calm confidence of one who understands that consciousness creates reality. And finally, remember this: the one who knows how to ask never worries if the answer will come. They know it already has. They live in the assurance of it. They feel it, they trust it, they rest in it. And the world bends to match it. The wish fulfilled is not a future event. It is a present feeling. Dwell in it now, and you will see that the universe always says yes. You are the operant power. You are the one who asks. And when you ask like this, through assumption, through feeling, through inner conviction, the universe cannot say no. When you ask with inner knowing, you do not look outside for signs of confirmation. You no longer wait for evidence to appear before you believe. The evidence is in the feeling. It is in the tone of your inner conversation. It is in the image you return to in the quiet moments. You become so immersed in your inner reality that the outer must reflect it. The mirror cannot do otherwise. This is not merely wishful thinking. It is law. The law of assumption tells us that what you assume to be true, if persisted in, will harden into fact. If you persist in the belief that you are already the person you desire to be, you will become it. Not through force, not through willpower, but through alignment. The world will be compelled to yield to your inner state. People will play their parts. Circumstances will rearrange. All things are possible to him who believes is not poetry. It is instruction. And to believe rightly is to feel from the end. Let us say you wish to be healthy. You do not wait for the symptoms to disappear before you feel well. That is asking amiss. You go into imagination and feel vitality, strength, and peace. You walk in your imagination as one who has already been healed. You touch your body in your mind's eye and feel ease. You breathe deeply and sense the life flowing through you. That is asking. And that is what compels the body to conform. Because the body is not master. It is servant to the mind. You see, asking is not about formality or technique. It is about sincerity of inner experience. You could repeat affirmations all day long, but if they do not stir the feeling, they are hollow. You could write your desires in a journal 10,000 times, but if you do not feel them real, they do not impress the subconscious. The subconscious is the womb of creation. It receives impressions only from feeling, from belief. And so you must ask in the language it understands, the language of fulfilled emotion. To walk by sight is to be enslaved by appearances, but to walk by faith is to see with the eyes of imagination. And these eyes, the inner eyes, see the real truth. Your outer circumstances may appear unchanged, but within a great change has taken place. And that inner shift is the true asking. Once it happens, the outer must follow. Just as surely as night follows day, there is a sacred stillness required to ask like this, a detachment from the noise of the world. You must become still enough to listen to your own heart, to hear the whisper of your soul telling you who you truly are. When you touch that place of silence and feel the truth of your desire as done, you have asked correctly. Not a single word needs to be spoken. The universe is moved not by sound, but by vibration. And vibration is feeling. Do not wait for the world to change. You are not to react, but to create. And creation begins with the assumption of the end. Begin each day by assuming it is done. Walk as though it were true. Speak to others from that place. Think from that reality. And most of all, fall asleep in it. Sleep, my friends, is the doorway into the subconscious. The impressions made just before sleep are those that bear the most fruit. So let your last thoughts be of fulfillment. Let your final feelings before sleep be of joy, of relief, of gratitude for the thing already received. Many ask and then worry. They ask and then contradict their asking with fear, with doubt, with endless questioning. But the true asker rests. The true asker knows. They drop the request into the infinite mind, and then let it be. They go about their day with a light heart, knowing that what they felt has already begun to materialize. They do not need to see how. The how is not their concern. The feeling is their task. The rest belongs to the law. Imagine a gardener who plants a seed. He does not demand to see the roots forming the next day. He does not dig it up to inspect its progress. He trusts the soil. He trusts the process. And so must you trust the process of creation. Your imagination is the soil. Your assumption is the seed. Your feeling is the water. Your persistence is the sunlight. And in time the harvest comes, but only if you leave the seed alone in faith. Do not underestimate the power of a single assumption. One moment of pure, undiluted belief can move mountains. The reason many do not see results is because they fluctuate. One moment they are full of faith, the next full of fear. They live in a cycle of wanting and doubting, creating and destroying. But when you hold the state, when you remain loyal to the unseen, then even the most impossible desire becomes inevitable. You must become indifferent to appearances. Appearances are lies. They are echoes of old assumptions. What you see now is the residue of past imaginings. If you do not like what you see, do not fight it. Simply return to your inner sanctuary and revise it. Change your inner dialogue. Replace fear with faith, doubt with knowing. This is how you ask like a creator. This is how the universe obeys. You are never punished for your desires. You are only ever punished by your assumptions. The law does not judge. It only reflects. It does not care if what you assume is good or bad, noble or selfish. It only knows to bring about what is impressed upon it. So be wise in your asking. Ask with love. Ask with grace. Ask with reverence for the creative power within you. And ask as one who knows it is already done. Do not ask timidly. The universe respects boldness. It is not arrogance to assume greatness. It is obedience to the truth of your being. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to struggle. You are here to remember that you are the imaginal being, the divine dreamer. And every time you ask with feeling, you remind yourself of your divinity. What would happen if you truly believed, just for a day, that your desire was fulfilled? How would you walk? What would change in your tone? Your posture, your choices? Live that day. Try it, not as an experiment, but as an embodiment. And you will discover that the outer world bends in ways you could never predict. To make your inner world real, you may not know when or how the thing will appear. That does not matter. The law does not operate by your calendar. It operates by vibration. Stay in the state and the state will bring the bridge of incidents. It may be subtle. It may be subtle. It may be spectacular. But it will come. As surely as spring follows winter. You must stop treating the universe like a reluctant giver. It is not withholding anything from you. You are withholding it from yourself by not assuming it. You do not need to deserve your desire. You need to align with it. You need to become it in feeling, in thought, in action. And then it becomes you. Every great teacher, every enlightened soul knew this truth. They spoke in parables, in metaphors. But the message was the same: assume the end, and you shall have it. Knock, and it shall be opened. Seek, and you shall find. These are not religious statements. They are metaphysical laws. There is no competition in creation. No one is keeping score. You do not lose by another gaining. You do not need to wait your turn. All things are yours, if you can but claim them. And claiming is asking, not with your lips, but with your being. The greatest secret is that you already are what you seek. The act of asking is merely the act of removing the veil of forgetfulness. You are not trying to get something. You are trying to remember who you are. And when you remember rightly, the world must reflect it. You have asked incorrectly for too long. You have begged when you should have claimed. You have waited when you should have assumed. You have doubted when you should have known. But now you know. Now you understand. Now you can ask like this. And when you do, the universe has no choice. It echoes your assumption. It mirrors your inner world. It obeys your feeling. And it always says yes. The yes of the universe is not always heard in words, but it is always seen in results. The moment you dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the unseen machinery begins its work. Invisible threads are woven. Events are orchestrated. Conversations are guided. You may think a chance meeting was random, a sudden idea just coincidence, but it was all set in motion the moment you asked rightly, when you felt it real. This feeling is not something you manufacture through force. It arises naturally when you enter the state of the end. And the state of the end is not a distant goal. It is a present moment. Asking like this means living from that moment, carrying yourself in harmony with what you have inwardly accepted. If you believe you are loved, your words become softer. If you believe you are wealthy, your choices reflect abundance. If you believe you are healed, your actions mirror vitality. The state expresses itself through you, effortlessly. Many ask and then sabotage.